For centuries, the debate over the shape of the Earth has fascinated minds across the globe. While modern science overwhelmingly supports the idea that the Earth is a sphere, the flat Earth theory continues to gain traction among skeptics and conspiracy theorists. But what exactly is this theory? Why do people believe in it? The idea that the Earth is flat is not a modern conspiracy. It has existed for thousands of years. Many ancient civilizations believed the Earth was a flat plane. They visualized it as a disk surrounded by an ocean, with the heavens above and the underworld below. Given the limited scientific knowledge of the time, this belief was entirely reasonable. People relied on their direct observations, and since the ground beneath their feet appeared flat, it was natural to assume that the entire world was the same. There were no satellites, no space exploration, and no widespread scientific education to challenge these ideas. However, as early as the 6th century BCE, Greek philosophers such as Pythagoras and Aristotle began challenging this idea. Aristotle, in particular, provided evidence that the Earth was spherical. He observed that during lunar eclipses, the Earth's shadow on the moon was always round, something that would only be possible if the Earth were a sphere. He also noted that as travelers moved north or south, they saw different stars in the night sky, which suggested that the Earth's surface was curved. Sailors at sea noticed that distant ships disappeared over the horizon from the bottom up, rather than simply shrinking in size, further indicating a curved surface. By the time of the Roman Empire, the idea of a spherical Earth was widely accepted among educated people. Eratosthenes, a Greek scholar in the 3rd century BCE, even managed to estimate the Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy using simple observations of shadows at different locations. His experiment involved measuring the angles of shadows in 2 cities at the same time, which confirmed that the Earth's surface was curved. But despite these historical advancements, the flat Earth theory has never completely disappeared. In fact, there were periods of time when the idea saw a resurgence. During the Middle Ages, particularly in certain parts of Europe, scientific knowledge took a backseat to religious interpretations. Some scholars and religious leaders promoted the idea that the Earth was flat, basing their beliefs on literal interpretations of religious texts. However, even during this time, many navigators, astronomers, and educated elites still accepted the spherical Earth model. The rediscovery of classical knowledge during the Renaissance reignited widespread acceptance of the Earth's true shape. Explorers such as Ferdinand Magellan and Christopher Columbus used the understanding of a round Earth to navigate long sea voyages without fear of falling off the edge. Their successful journeys provided practical proof that the Earth was not a flat plane, but a continuous curved surface. Given the overwhelming scientific evidence, why do people still believe the Earth is flat? The resurgence of flat Earth theory can be attributed to several factors. One major reason is the growing mistrust of scientific institutions. Many flat earthers believe that organizations like NASA, governments, and scientists are part of a massive conspiracy to hide the truth. They claim that images of Earth from space are faked and that scientific discoveries are manipulated to maintain control over the public. This distrust extends beyond the shape of the Earth, often overlapping with other conspiracy theories about climate change, vaccinations, and space exploration. The rise of the internet and social media has also played a significant role. In the past, information was limited to books, newspapers, and educational institutions, where scientific facts were widely accepted. Today, however, platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok allow conspiracy theories to spread rapidly. A single viral video can introduce thousands of people to the flat Earth concept, and once someone enters this world, algorithms push similar content, reinforcing their beliefs. Unlike traditional education, which encourages questioning and critical thinking, many flat Earth videos use emotional appeals and selective evidence to convince viewers. Psychological factors also play a role in why some people believe in the flat Earth theory. Some individuals are drawn to conspiracy theories because they provide a sense of knowledge and control. Believing that they have uncovered a secret makes them feel special or smarter than the brainwashed masses. Rejecting mainstream science can also be a form of rebellion, a way to challenge authority and feel empowered. Another interesting factor is the impact of pseudoscience. Flat earthers often attempt to use scientific language and concepts to support their claims. They create misleading diagrams, perform flawed experiments, and cherry-pick data that appears to back up their views. The problem is that their methodology lacks the rigor and peer review that real science demands. In many cases, these so-called experiments are either misinterpreted or designed in a way that ignores basic principles of physics and astronomy. Religious and philosophical beliefs contribute to the persistence of flat Earth ideas as well. Some interpretations of religious texts suggest a flat Earth, leading certain groups to reject modern scientific explanations. They argue that the Bible, for example, describes the Earth as having 4 corners, or being set on foundations, which they take as literal evidence of a flat world. While most religious scholars and institutions accept the scientific understanding of a spherical Earth, a small subset insists that faith should override observable evidence. The belief that the Earth is flat has persisted despite centuries of scientific discoveries proving otherwise. While most of the world accepts the evidence for a spherical Earth, flat earthers continue to argue against it with claims that often sound convincing to those unfamiliar with scientific principles. However, when examined closely, none of them actually hold up. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common claims made by flat earthers and the scientific explanations that completely debunk them. One of the main arguments used by flat earthers is that the horizon always appears flat when viewed from ground level. They argue that if the Earth were truly curved, we should see some evidence of that curvature in everyday life. What they fail to consider is the scale of the Earth. With a circumference of roughly 24,901 miles, the curvature is too subtle to be noticed from the ground. In fact, the curve of the Earth only becomes visible at high altitudes, something that has been observed by pilots, astronauts, and even civilians aboard high-altitude flights. Additionally, the way ships disappear over the horizon further proves that the Earth is not flat. Instead of shrinking uniformly as they move away, they vanish from the bottom up, which is exactly what would happen on a curved surface. If the Earth were flat, the entire ship would remain in view, simply appearing smaller with distance. This phenomenon can be tested with binoculars or a telescope. Zooming in does not bring the ship's bottom back into view because it is obscured by the curvature of the Earth. Another argument flat earthers frequently make is that NASA and other space agencies fake images of Earth from space. They claim that photos of our planet showing it as a sphere are computer-generated and manipulated to deceive the public. This argument is not only flawed, but completely ignores the vast amount of evidence available. Thousands of images of Earth have been taken by independent satellites, astronauts, and even private space companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin. These images all show the same thing: a round Earth. Additionally, live-streamed footage from the International Space Station, which orbits Earth every 90 minutes, continuously confirms the planet's spherical shape. Critics argue that these images could be digitally altered, but if that were the case, multiple countries, including those politically opposed to one another, would have to be participating in the same deception. Even amateur astronomers and weather balloon experiments have captured images showing the curve of the Earth, providing independent verification. Flat earthers also argue that water always finds its level. So if the Earth were truly a sphere, water should flow off its surface instead of staying in place. This argument completely ignores the force of gravity. Gravity pulls everything towards the center of the Earth, keeping the oceans, lakes, and rivers firmly in place. This same force is why planets and stars naturally form into spheres. The misconception that water should fall off around Earth assumes that gravity would work differently than it actually does. In reality, water conforms to the shape of the planet, which is why the ocean curves along with the Earth's surface. Another common claim is that airplane flights should be impossible on a globe. Flat earthers argue that if the Earth were truly spinning at approximately 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, planes would have to constantly adjust their flight paths to compensate. This argument misunderstands basic physics. Airplanes fly within the Earth's atmosphere, which moves along with the planet due to gravity. This is the same reason why you don't feel the Earth spinning beneath you. Imagine being inside a car traveling at a steady speed on a highway. Unless the car accelerates or brakes suddenly, you don't feel movement. Similarly, the entire atmosphere is moving with the Earth, so aircraft, birds, and even clouds are not left behind as the planet rotates. In fact, the Coriolis effect, caused by Earth's rotation, is already accounted for in flight planning, and its influence can be seen in the way storms rotate differently in the northern and southern hemispheres. Flat earthers also claim that there is no real proof of the Earth's motion because we don't feel it moving. They argue that if the Earth were truly spinning at high speeds, we should be able to sense it. This argument ignores the concept of inertia. The Earth's rotation is incredibly smooth and constant, meaning we do not experience sudden acceleration or deceleration. Just as passengers on an airplane do not feel movement when the plane is flying steadily, people on Earth do not feel the planet's motion because there are no sudden changes in speed or direction. For those who remain skeptical, there are several simple experiments that anyone can conduct to demonstrate that the Earth is round. One of the most famous is the shadow experiment first performed by the ancient Greek scholar Eratosthenes. By measuring the lengths of shadows cast at different locations, he was able to calculate the Earth's circumference. If the Earth were flat, the shadows would have been identical, but they varied in length, proving that the Earth's surface is curved. This experiment is easily replicated today using just a stick and a ruler, reinforcing the same conclusion made over 2,000 years ago. Another experiment involves observing ships at sea. When a ship sails into the distance, it sinks from view bottom first as it moves beyond the curvature of the Earth. This observation alone provides clear evidence that the planet is not flat. If the Earth were a flat plane, the entire ship would remain visible regardless of distance. The visibility of stars also provides undeniable proof of a spherical Earth. Different constellations are visible depending on where you are on the planet. In the northern hemisphere, people can see Polaris, the North Star, but it disappears entirely when traveling far enough south. Likewise, constellations visible in the southern hemisphere cannot be seen from northern latitudes. If the Earth were flat, the same stars would be visible everywhere. Even modern air travel proves that the Earth is round. Airline routes follow what are known as Great Circle paths, which are the shortest distances between 2 points on a sphere. These routes appear curved when viewed on a flat map, but they make perfect sense when seen on a globe. If the Earth were truly flat, flight paths would follow straight lines instead of curved ones. Yet all commercial airlines rely on spherical navigation models to plan their routes. This is why flights from locations such as New York to Tokyo often pass over the Arctic instead of flying in a straight eastward line. On a globe, this is the shortest route, but on a flat map, it looks curved or illogical, which further proves that traditional maps distort reality. So, what do you think? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.